So in this video, I want to talk about ways that you can legally protect yourself, because I know this is something that concerns a lot of you, and it tends to hold people back because they're afraid they're going to get their ideas stolen, or they might get sued or get involved in a situation that they won't know exactly how to handle. So these are going to be a few pointers in this video as to how you can prevent getting into any situation like that. Okay, so the first thing I have to tell you is the law. I'm not an attorney, but the law, as I understand it, is anybody, at least in the United States, can sue anybody else for any reason. There doesn't have to be any reason other than a reason that they come up with. So they can hire a lawyer and they can file a lawsuit against you, and if that happens, you have to hire a lawyer and defend yourself. Okay, so you want to prevent that from happening, and here's how you do that. The first thing is you want to copyright your work with the US Copyright Office, and you want to make sure it's registered as well. Okay, I'm talking about your screenplay or any creation of yours that you're sending out into the public domain. You want to register a copy with the Copyright Office and with the WGA. Okay, there's a registration process. You can go on their website, and there'll be a form there to fill out, and you can do that proper registration. Okay, that's number one. The next thing is the US Copyright Office, and this shouldn't cost much money. I think it's anywhere from like $50 to $100 to register your work with the Copyright Office. And the other thing you should know is, if you don't get around to actually formally registering it, if you just put the copyright symbol on your screenplay, that actually is enough to cover it under all copyright laws around the world. So that's something you want to do first. Just automatically put that symbol on all your materials, and then when you have a chance or you have the money to register the material, then go ahead and do that. Okay, so the next thing is another aspect of the law, and this is that anybody can steal an idea from you. Okay, ideas are not what they call legally protectable. Okay, what's legally protectable is the expression of the idea. So when you go out into the marketplace and you're pitching producers or talking to producers, you want to make sure that you have a full screenplay, or I mean, at the very least, a very detailed synopsis of your idea before you start talking to anybody about it. Okay, because they can steal your idea, but they can't steal the exact expression of your idea. Okay, so that's kind of how the law works. Again, I'm not an attorney, but that's basically what you need to know. Okay, so always make sure that before pitching anything or going out into the marketplace, that you have at least a full screenplay, a very detailed screenplay. All right, just don't go out there and start talking about random ideas, or a good idea that you have that you're going to write a screenplay about. You may notice a lot of times in publicity, they will not they won't talk about the log line. They won't tell you what the concept is, because they don't want people stealing the concept. So this is something that definitely happens, and you want to be careful that it doesn't happen to you. All right, the other thing is, and I know this from experience because I was involved working for a producer who was in litigation, and we litigated a pretty major lawsuit. We prevailed in the end, so that was good. But one thing I learned about lawsuits is, number one, they're really, really expensive. So you have to avoid them at all costs. And the way you avoid lawsuits at all costs is by having documentation of all of your business transactions. Okay, so one thing I talk about is not doing business on text messaging. This is a really, unless you save those text messages, and sometimes we do, sometimes we don't, sometimes they're hard to find. But believe me, if you get involved in a lawsuit, there is this process called discovery, and some of you may know what that is, But in discovery, they're going to request all of your interactions, all of your emails and correspondence. Both parties have to produce these materials for the purposes of the lawsuit. And if you have really good records, you've been keeping really good records, and you've been documenting everything that's been going on, you may be able to ward off that lawsuit before it even becomes a lawsuit, before you even get to discovery, because you present your case, present all your evidence. That's going to make somebody a lot less likely to file like a frivolous lawsuit against you, okay? Because they know you're going to be able to defend it, and likely you will win. All right, so that's another tip. Stay off of the text messaging. Make sure you're doing all your business on email, and that you're saving your emails. And the other thing to do is to take contemporaneous notes, which means that right when you get off the phone with somebody, or right after you come out of a business meeting, you write down what happened, and you write down, your impressions of what happened, okay? The other thing that we do, it's called a self-serving letter or self-serving email. And this is used to protect your dealings with people. So if you have a conversation about somebody and they're talking about deal points, or they're saying they're going to do something, you want to then follow up that conversation with what we call self-serving email. Of course, they don't know that it's a self-serving email, but so hopefully it's not too obvious. But you do it for purposes to just document what's been said in that point of time. So if you have to bring it up, or when it comes up later, you can say, look, see, when I got out of the meeting, I wrote this email, I sent this email, they agreed with it. And so that's my proof that what I'm saying is true. Okay, so that's called a self-serving email, and you can do that. So, don't be afraid to go out there. People in the industry generally are not out to steal your work. They want to find talented people to work with. They don't want to bother stealing stuff and taking the chance of getting sued. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, because it occasionally it does, but it's not something that I want to hold, that should hold you back. I really don't want to see that, because the whole purpose of my videos and my posting is to empower writers to go out there and take chances, take their shots. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So I don't want legal issues to be an issue, okay? An issue that holds you back. So follow these tips that I've just laid out here in this video. I tried to, cover a little bit of the law and some things you can do to kind of, make sure that you have the right documentation in case something should happen or there should be a disagreement. You can immediately pull out all of your documentation and ward that off real quick. Okay, I hope that helps, and I'll talk to you soon.